Caleb's with us in Austin, Texas. Hi, Caleb. How are you?
Good, better than I deserve. How about you guys?
Just the same, sir. How can we help?
Figured. Well, I'm calling on behalf of my amazing wife. Her and her mom had a falling out probably about 3 years ago, and
I'm sorry. Say that again. How long ago?
probably about 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, and it's still pretty hectic. And so
what does that mean? What does hectic mean?
It's not a good relationship.
Okay.
We had our son. He just turned 9 months. They met once, and the kind of the rules we have is he's not allowed at our house, and our son's not allowed over there. And it's weighing heavy on my wife.
So why'd you feel the need to draw? That's a hard boundary. Why'd you feel the need to draw that boundary?
It's just a cancerous person, I guess, to say.
Be more specific. You're talking pretty vague. Be specific. Something happened that said you cannot be with my kid.
What does she do that is a danger to your child?
Yeah.
Well, just the environment. Her boyfriend is not the best man in the world. She's very negative. She's always doubted our marriage would last, and she would tell people we're not going to last. When my wife got pregnant, she said, that I wasn't going to stick around.
Okay.
And we had a miscarriage, and she just blew it off. And my wife just recently asked her to if they could go to counseling and try and fix it, and she was just like, "I'll think about it." And it's just to me, my kind of view is if just the thought of being around someone stresses me out, I just don't even want to deal with that.
That's easier said than when it's your mom, and your wife has a picture in her head of this new baby, and her mom's a part of that, and she had to draw boundaries for whatever reason. I still don't fully get it, but she had to draw some boundaries that doesn't include her. So she's got to grieve that picture.
I'm trying to understand just as a guy. I'll let John talk in a minute, but so your mother-in-law's series of offenses are that she's a jerk.
Yeah.
Has she done something other than just been a jerk to your wife?
No, like physical harm. No, but
no. I mean, is she just like nasty and kind of mean?
Yeah,
snarly.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of ethical things that have gone on with like finances and stuff like that I don't want to air out. But
like she stole from your wife?
From her father.
Okay. All right.
She's just a person of no character, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And so she only will talk to my wife when her boyfriend's out of town, and then when her boyfriend comes back, she doesn't respond to anything.
So what's the challenge? Is your wife just struggling with just putting a period at the end of that relationship and moving on?
Yeah, it eats her up inside.
Yeah. And
that's where I'm calling. I'm just trying to, I guess the man in me is just like, well, so long. And for her, it's harder, and I'm just trying to figure out.
Yeah, it's her mom.
Yeah, it's her mom.
Yeah.
You got to honor that. Don't get in the trap of talking bad about her mom. Get in the trap of supporting her and loving her. At some point, she's going to have to make the decision. She's going to have to put a period at the end of that sentence. Her mom's never going to do it with her, because if she would, you wouldn't be in the situation in the first place. So your wife's going to have to decide to grieve this loss and then start creating a new picture that's going to include her baby, you, and whoever else, but not mom. And your wife's going to do that on her own terms and her own time. And that's frustrating and annoying if you're a husband who loves his wife and doesn't want to see her hurt. But anytime there's a separation from a mom like this, they're just going to be hurt.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Especially with
definitely a lot.
Let me throw out something. The secret to happiness is low expectations.
Yeah.
And so if her mother had I'll just make up something. I don't know. Something where, let's say she had Alzheimer's. Okay? And when people get Alzheimer's, they generally either become much nicer than they used to be or much meaner than they used to be. My mother-in-law got Alzheimer's, and bless her soul, she got nicer. And kept feeding the dog until the dog got fat. I mean, it was almost humorous. And so, because she forgets she fed the dog.
Yeah.
And so, if you had someone like that, we were never looked at Sharon's mom when she was going through that and said, we lowered our expectations of her because she was deficit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes. Well, I mean, my expectations, I don't think you get any lower.
Yeah, and I think your wife still has high mom expectations of a woman who can't deliver.
Yeah.
And so if she lowered her expectations and just said, pretend like mom has Alzheimer's and she's a little nutty, because she's a little nutty, dude. The woman you just described is like Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah.
And she's really not got her crap together mentally. This woman doesn't.
But I can see the challenge between someone with Alzheimer's and saying this person's got bad
I know, but I'm saying
right?
if you're I'm talking about his wife, if she said, instead of hoping mom is going to be all super mom.
Oh, she's never going to be.
I know. Instead said, let's treat her as if she's deficit because she is.
Gotcha.
And you just go, oh, that's just my crazy mother.
This is just who mother. This is just my crazy mother.
That's just my crazy mother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you don't get all tore up about it. Because the reason the girl's getting all tore up about it is she keeps thinking mom's going to come through.
She's got this picture.
Am I wrong?
No. Yeah, but I think that having lower expectations isn't going to make her feel good. She's still going to have to grieve that thing that mom's never going to come through like that.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if every one of these conversations, it's like, oh, mom did it again. Well, what did you expect?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. If a rattlesnake's going to bite you, right? That's it.
A stinking snake bites. So don't be, when they start, when that little tail starts wiggling and making that little noise, you just get back,
Caleb, let me ask you this. Are you in a place, have y'all backed yourselves into a corner with an either or that was a little bit over the top? Or do you feel good about it? And I'll ask you this. I know a lot of first-time parents who make these big declarations. You can't come into my home unless you've showered in Lysol and washed your hands. And by third kid, the kid's walking in with a handful of dog dew and then nobody cares, right? Have you all first kidded this situation where you've made these declarations?
Yeah, and I don't know. My mindset is if you have to hide seeing my son, then why are we even going to be around that type of person?
Well, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the bottom line is there's a lot of heartbreak for your wife. It's very hard for her. Crazy mom's just going to be crazy.
Yeah.
You're looking at it very like, that's what it is. And it's
her mom.
It's her mom. You can't take that loose.
Yeah.
That there's still that umbilical cord in the spiritual world.
Be gentle with her grieving, man.
I'll send you a copy of Henry Cloud's book called Boundaries. He's a friend of John's and mine, and it's a world-class book on this subject. Hold on, I'll send you a copy of it.